If I know you well, then I'm pretty sure you're probably always looking for something spooky to watch, read, or play, so don't worry, I've got you covered because today I'm going over how I've been keeping the spook alive with movies, books, TV, and games.
Monsters do have their place. In your nightmares, in the deep, in your favorite horror movies.
Hello, my spookies. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Mandy Spooks, and this is our spooky oasis where we celebrate the magic of Halloween and spooky pop culture every day. So if you're a spooky ghoul just like me, be sure to stick around because we've got a lot of spooky fun stuff to cover today. So if you've been here a while, you know that I have always had a segment called Keeping the Spook Alive since my podcasting days to YouTube. Like, it's just kind of been a thing I do because we like to keep the spook alive, you know? What I do is share how I keep the spook alive. You know, a lot of people have a hard time feeling that Halloween spirit year round when there's not like a lot of like spooky things, Halloween events, horror events happening. So what do we do when that happens? We lean into all of the content available to us because that's really what I love most around here is the spooky pop culture. I live for it. So today I'm going to be sharing the movies, the shows, the books, what I've been playing, all of it. So let's get right into it. Right off the bat, I want to talk about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I did go watch it with Mr. Spooks on opening weekend, and I did get my snow like I had prayed for. But yeah, I had a lot of fun watching the movie. I'm not gonna lie, I did feel like it was not as great as Ghostbusters Afterlife, but I did really enjoy it. It was really fun getting to experience that in theaters again. And something I've noticed this year is that the merch at movie theaters is out of this world. Like, it was so hard not to buy merch for Ghostbusters because it was just so cool. They had like this really cool glow-in-the-dark icy cup that I really wanted, but as I've mentioned before, I'm on a budget, so I can't get everything that I really want. The movie, I thought, like, on a high note, they did a really good job of still having surprises in it from the OG. I kind of felt like, well, we already got a lot of what we saw in the original on the previous one, so will there be a lot of surprises left for those nostalgia fans? And there definitely was, which was really cool. I thought that the special effects were cool. It was a really fun theme, but I just felt like the movie tried to be too many things. They tried to fit too many things into it, and it would have been a lot better if they had just focused on like one storyline versus trying to do a lot of different things in it. So I don't know, the last one was just so good and heartfelt that this one just felt like it was missing something, you know? I don't know if I'll do an in-depth review at some point, but if I were to rate it, I want to say I would probably give it 3 bats, to be honest. I loved it, enjoyed it. I'm glad that I went. I don't regret going. I'll probably watch it whenever another one comes out, but I wouldn't say that it was my favorite, you know? All right, and then moving on to another recent release in theaters, Imaginary. So, not gonna lie to you guys, I heard Imaginary was absolutely horrible. Like, the reviews were so bad. But the reason I went was because I was like, that makes it sound like it's going to be a really fun movie. Like, when something's so bad, it can be like so entertaining, you know? So that was kind of like the expectation that I set that maybe I shouldn't have. As I was watching it, it was okay. It wasn't bad, but I don't know how to explain it. It just wasn't like bad enough to be entertaining, and it wasn't good enough to be like a good watch, you know? And I just didn't find it scary, unfortunately. Like, I didn't find the jump scares to be scary. I didn't find the monsters to be scary. At one point, I fell asleep in the movie, which means it was a little boring. So, yeah, I would give this movie 2 bats, to be honest. I don't typically score things that low, but I just felt like it didn't have anything memorable or noteworthy about it, but it also wasn't like the worst film I've ever seen, so it's not a 1 bat. I don't generally do this, but I don't recommend this movie to anyone. I feel like anyone and everyone who I've heard review it has pretty much agreed that it's not a good film, unfortunately, so that was a bust, but at least I'm letting you know. All right, and then next we have through the recent releases still, super quick, I did want to talk about Godzilla vs. Kong. It was a super fun watch. Mr. Spooks is a huge What are the monsters called from Godzilla? He's not listening. Kaiju. I remembered as I asked. Mr. Spooks is a huge Kaiju Monsters fan. Godzilla is his favorite film of all time. And so, of course, we always go to those releases. I had a ton of fun. We got to see this in IMAX Laser 3D for the first time. And it was so fun. It was such an experience. So if you guys have IMAX Laser 3D in your area, please check it out. I am like so glad that we can finally become AMC A-list members again at the new apartment we're moving to, because I have missed my subscription so bad, and being able to include these movies like the IMAX 3D, the Dolby, all of the like special theater ones will be included again. And that was just like such a great movie to experience it in, honestly. The film was... It was really good, honestly. I was not anticipating enjoying it for some reason. I really loved Godzilla vs. Kong, and I really loved their like fight scene and the neon lights, and I was just like, if I don't get neon lights, like I don't want it, I'm not interested. But I really enjoyed it, and I might be what's the word, bias, because there was a scene that was very much related to dental, and I'm in the dental industry for my job, so I really love that aspect of it. And I really loved how they brought the monsters together, and I love the storyline. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to give any spoilers. If I were going to rate the film, I think I would give it maybe like a 3.5. It wasn't one of my favorite movies ever, but it was a fun watch, which is what I usually watch movies for, honestly. So I do recommend it if you like kaijus, if you like King Kong, because that's why I show up for Kong. And yeah, it was a fun watch. Okay, and then now we're gonna get into some Netflix streaming things that I want to talk about. One of them being Damsel, the new movie featuring Millie Brown. Oh my god, I never remember her name. 11 from Stranger Things. Damsel is not a spooky movie, but it had spooky elements to it. It's fantasy. It is about a girl who is in an arranged marriage with a royal family, of course. And basically what happens is the marriage is a sacrifice. So what they do is once she's married, she doesn't know that she's actually going to be fed to a dragon. And the movie is about what happens when they basically sacrifice her. I'm not giving anything away because that's part of the trailer. But it was really fun. It was surprisingly like really well done. The special effects for it being a Netflix film were really, really good. And like I said, there were definitely some spooky parts. So if you're like a fantasy fan, if you like dragons, if you like spooky vibes and girl power, then I definitely recommend this film. I think if I were going to rate it, I would give it 4 out of 5 bats. It wasn't like the best movie ever, but it definitely like surpassed my expectations, and I really enjoyed it. And next, of course, I have a Netflix series that I know so many of you have already watched. If you haven't watched it, this is your sign that you need to watch it, which is The Fall of the House of Usher. Guys, when I tell you that I regret putting the show off for so long, I mean it. I knew that so many of you were excited about it. Shout out to Poppy because she was like the first person who ever put it on my radar. It is a show that is based off of Edgar Allan Poe's works. To my knowledge, it is like an original piece, but they used a lot of inspiration from different pieces of Edgar Allan Poe. I really wish that I had knowledge on Edgar Allan Poe's work and like could give you guys like a full breakdown of like what it pulled from and all of this stuff, because it was just like so well done. But unfortunately that is not my expertise, but I will tell you that I thoroughly enjoyed this show. Like the minute we started it, we instantly like binged it. We binged the entire show in one day, nonstop, because it just hooked us. I don't think that the show was as scary as I was anticipating, but the storytelling was just really, really good. It had an amazing message. It did have its moments of like spooking you, you know, like the first episode in particular. I was like, that scared me. If you've watched it, I'm not gonna give spoilers, but this is the one line I need to share. The "she's right behind you" part got me so good. I was like, she's right behind me, isn't she? So that part I thought was really good. And there were just like occasional small jump scares in it, you know, but the it was just such a good show. It was like juicy, it was interesting, it was like such a great like murder mystery almost, you know. So I really recommend it. I would give it 4.5 out of 5 bats. I feel like some people will be upset about that rating, but for me, if you're not new here, you already know this, but Hill House is one of my favorite TV shows ever. And for me, that's the standard, you know, like it was good, but it wasn't Hill House good, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it. If you guys know any of the like references pulled, or like if there was anything in particular that you really loved how they did pulling from Edgar Allan Poe's works, I would love to hear it. Poppy, I'm talking to you. I'm sure you have a lot to share about it. But yeah, the show is just really good. And if you are a ghoul that doesn't really like scary stuff, I think you could probably still handle it, because like I said, it was just more so a really good story versus a really scary story. So yeah. All right. And I do have 2 books to share with you guys, but before, I just wanted to give a quick update on what I've been playing. So I am definitely still hooked on Dreamlight Valley. I have recently been playing the Monsters Inc. Star Path. I couldn't remember what it's called. So yeah, they currently have a Monsters Inc. Star Path, and basically I am more motivated to play the game during actual Star Paths that have like items I really want, because I'm always getting like anything that has spooky vibes to eventually build my spooky valley that I'm like really excited about. So that's what I've been doing, and I've also still been playing the Halloween 78 game, like just to like kill time before bed and like disconnect, you know. But I am on the market for more spooky games, so if you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments down below. All right, so let's get into what I know you guys are really excited about, which is my spooky books. What has Mandy been reading? When I tell you I have missed Spookworm Club so much, I have missed it so much, but it has also given me the freedom to read when I feel like it and read what I feel like, you know, which has been really nice. So I have read 2 books recently. The first one being Butcher and Blackbird, and the second one being My Roommate is a Vampire. And I did record film my Butcher and Blackbird review in real time for you guys, because I had just finished it and I had a lot of thoughts. So let's jump into that really quick. So your girl finally finished her first spooky book of the year. I cannot believe how long it took me to get through this book. To be fair, I have been reading a lot of professional development books alongside this one. So that could be why it took me longer, but if I'm being honest, I just was not motivated to finish this, to devour this book. So I read Butcher and Blackbird by Brynn Weaver. It has been trending all over Instagram, so I'm sure you know about it, but it's basically about 2 serial killers, a female and a male, who each go out to be serial killers to kill serial killers, basically. And they stumble upon each other, and it's like a love-hate relationship. And you can imagine the rest. It's a typical, like, smutty, extremely smutty love story about serial killers. So you can imagine how crazy it is. This book had everything that I love, so I don't know why I didn't love it, but it was a struggle to get through. Like, more times than not, I would listen to it on a walk, and then I'd be like, ugh, I'm over it, like, I'm gonna DNF it. And then I'd go a few weeks, and then I'd be like, I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try to keep going. Finally, Monica, one of our ghouls in the Discord, posted about it. I messaged her, and she's like, give it a chance, like, the smut is so good, blah blah blah. So I pushed through for you, Monica. I just didn't enjoy it. I don't know what it is. I found the characters to be like such babies in the first like quarter of the book. It was just like, you guys are serial killers. Grow up, mature, and just tell each other you like each other. Like, you're being stupid. That was really annoying for me. And I don't know, I just felt like a lot of the like actual kill scenes dragged for me. I don't know if I just was like distracted or just couldn't find an interest in them. I did enjoy some aspects of the book. Like, I loved how we had like a different voice narrator for each role, which had a really nice insight. I also thought that the smut scenes were absolutely amazing, like 1000 out of 10 points, because they were a lot longer than I feel most scenes usually are. And they were really good. I'm not gonna lie, they were very spicy. Not what I was expecting. I actually thought that they were gonna be like really creepy smutty scenes that go back to like their fetishes of like killing, so I was pleasantly surprised that they're not those kind of scenes. But they were done real well. They did not disappoint. They exceeded my expectations. So like on a smut level, it's definitely 5 out of 5 bats, but as a whole, it just wasn't my cup of tea. But I don't think it was not a good book. I just felt like something about it just didn't catch my interest. I felt that it dragged. The characters annoyed me. It was just like a lot working against me, but I could also say that it was because of like distractions and where my mindset has been the past few months. So I don't know. I would recommend it if the storyline interests you at all. And I think if like a quarter of the way through you're not feeling it, then that's a sign to DNF it. But if you are feeling it, then push through. For me, I think this would be a 2 out of 5. I think that's the lowest rating I've ever given something on this channel, like for anything. But it was just a struggle for me. Like the 2 stars or like the 2 bats are basically for the smut, but the rest just really fell short for me. Another good thing though, I will say, is they did a great job setting up the sequel or like the second book to this. You can tell for sure there's going to be a second book. So yeah, I don't know why, like I can't pinpoint why I didn't love or enjoy this book, because it has all the elements I should have loved, but for some reason it just didn't grab me. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you have read it, how you felt about it, because I'm curious to know like if it was just like me and my distractions, or if this is like a common feeling about this book. All right, future Mandy back. Just kidding. All right, so the other book I read was My Roommate is a Vampire, and when I tell you guys that this book saved my reading journey, it was like I had no idea this book was gonna come in and consume my life the way it did. I forget the name of the author, so I'm gonna pull it up really quick. Jenna Levine. So My Roommate is a Vampire is by Jenna Levine, and I'm just gonna tell you guys what it's about. It's basically what it says, but really what it's about is a girl is apartment hunting basically, and she needs a place to stay that she can afford. So she finds a listing for this apartment, and the listing is priced so low that it sounds too good to be true, but she tries to check it out anyway because it fits within her budget. And so she ends up moving in, and of course, like the title says, her roommate is a vampire. And I will say, in case you're wondering, because I was wondering based on the artwork is super cute for this book cover, but it almost makes me think that it's gonna be like a kid's book. I thought, not a kid's book, but like young adult. I really was under the impression that it was gonna be like a young adult book because of the cover, and I was like, am I gonna like it if like there's no smut in it? Like, I just wasn't sure. Guys, this book was a 10 out of 10 for me. Like, it is the first book I have read this year that really got me out of my reading slump, that I enjoyed. I finished it within 24 hours. I was just thinking, like, was that correct? Yes. Finished it within 24 hours. I could not put it down. I was so happy I found a book to listen to when I'm walking now, because it keeps me motivated. And then I finished after literally one walking session with it. And I was like, no, I should save it until I walk again so that I have something to listen to keep me motivated to keep coming to the gym. I couldn't do it. I played it on my drive home. I played it while I was doing the dishes. I played it while I was hanging clothes. I played every single second I could while I was free, and I just really enjoyed it. And I feel like I'm talking it up too much because I have a really good friend who did not enjoy it, but for me, it was just the perfect read. Like, it was perfect pacing, perfect amount of smut. And what I really enjoyed about it is that, you know, one of the complaints my friend had about it was that she felt like there wasn't enough drama in it. And I think that's what I really loved about it. I'm the kind of person that, like, this is a bit of a spoiler, so if you don't want spoilers, stop now. I hate when a book makes you wait until the very end to see the couple you're rooting for together. Movies do this too, and I get it. It's because it's part of the plot. Like, you need entertainment. This book had such great storytelling that it didn't need a lot of drama. Like, it took you through the process of this vampire and woman meeting, getting through the awkwardness, you know, because like I really loved how organic it felt. I feel like sometimes in books it's like there was instant chemistry, and that's one of my biggest like fights. Oh my god, that's one of my biggest problems with the X-Hex book series, because I really love that series, but I really hated that it was just like a constant like, oh, so lusty, like so in love with each other. And it was like, how? Like, why? Like, you haven't done anything to make me believe that there's anything real here. This book did a really good job of building that relationship and character development for me, and I really enjoyed it. It was so cute the way they communicate with each other at the beginning. I don't want to give too much away. But I felt it. Like, I felt the awkwardness and the like slowly realizing like, oh, I kind of like this person. I really love the progression of their relationship and just how they like took small steps. It wasn't like an instant like chemistry, smut, all of it. Like, no, it was like done really well and very tastefully. And I really enjoyed it. Like, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it enough. But I just thought they did a really good job. It didn't need the drama. To me, it was just like really nice to actually see a relationship develop for once without being told to like hang on until the very end to see the couple get together. And then it's like, oh, the book's over. Like, I got enough of them together to really appreciate it, and I really hope that there is a sequel to this. I feel like there could be. But yeah, obviously I give it 5 out of 5 bats. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it if you're a girl who likes vampire love stories, if you like a little bit of smut, because it's not like covered in smut, but it has just enough to make it worth it. And if you don't need the drama, because I can see why my friend didn't enjoy that part of it. But yeah, highly recommend it. And on that note, I really need recommendations now, because I hate this feeling. It's like when you binge a good show and a book, like, what do you do with your life afterwards? Like, what am I supposed to do without this book in all of my free time now? I don't know. So all recommendations are welcome. Shows, TV, movies, books, all of it, because yeah, I had an amazing, spooktacular week binging the House of Usher and listening to the book, and now I'm just like, what do I do with my life? I just finished 2 amazing things. So yeah, I know that this might not have been as in-depth as you guys were hoping, or as many recommendations, but I'm trying to keep it real with you guys. Like, these are the things that I have been able to squeeze in over the last few weeks, amongst like work, some class I've been taking, still getting ready for our move. Don't be surprised if you guys start to see like boxes and like incomplete decor in some of my videos coming up, because it's about time we're gonna get prepped to start moving very soon. So it's very exciting times around here, but you guys know I always got to fit in some self-scare for me, and that's always indulging in the spooky content. Let me know what you guys are up to. What are you reading? What are you watching? What do you recommend? Because your ghoul needs it. And until next time, sending you ghouls and kisses. Bye!